man, this is the coolest. We got a classic painted show truck up front with an extended axle. I grew up playing with trucks. Actually, I grew up playing with Matchbox cars in the dirt. And there's nothing more fun for me than just pretending to build a project, dig some holes, whip dirt balls at the toys, and really bring to life the magic of what trucking can do. Over the course of this Playing with Trucks series, I want to bring to life some of the work that Bennett Family of Companies does through some toys and help to explain things like low boys with triple axles and how, in fact, they can transport a heavy piece of equipment. I'm Kris Rzepkowski, Vice President of Corporate Business Development here at the Bennett Family of Companies, and we don't just play with trucks, of course. We book them, run them, maintain them, put great drivers into them, and it's all about hauling this country's vital freight. So let's talk a little bit today about a particular market segment, and it is project logistics. Imagine this. You're driving past a wind farm or maybe a massive stadium or even that new battery plant that pops up in the middle of nowhere. Did you ever wonder how those giant pieces get together? Who's building and moving that stuff? Well, it's actually called project logistics, and it's a discipline inside of the transportation and logistics industry, and I'd love to share with you a little bit about that today. Let's bring this home for a second. You drive by a stadium that hosts the Super Bowl, or you have your phone that's magically got electricity to it. These projects are constructed over years, and they require tight choreography between project managers, logistics engineers, the local and state governments to make them happen. And, it took 4,000 loads of structural steel for Bennett to help build the Atlanta Falcons Stadium. Every day we've got 500,000 pound transformers moving in from the ports all across this country to power our infrastructure grid, being transported on giant 19-axle trailers and being heavy lifted with cranes that place them on the job site. You just don't know what goes into these projects when you look at it at the surface. What's remarkable about our business is the various types of providers that come together to execute complex projects. The companies that fund these projects choose engineering and construction firms to procure all of the different components for the projects. Now, those components come in from anywhere in the world. They can come in from Asia, Europe, or they can be right here on our own soil. But it's up to them to go and purchase all of the raw materials to make a project happen. Most of these companies have very little internal expertise to transport these elements from where they've purchased them and in through the ports to their project sites. They're focused on engineering and construction best practices. That's where the ecosystem of project logistics companies come into play. 3PLs oftentimes coordinate all of the transportation for these projects, so they'll step in and be a middleman between the engineering companies and those that are executing the transportation. If components are coming in from overseas, international freight forwarders book the ocean vessels to get the equipment into our ports. Once the goods hit the ports, then they need to be unloaded onto trucks. And when they are big, heavy, and ugly freight, that's where we get involved. Not all the logistics providers are created equal. As I said, some coordinate the moves, while others like us bring the muscle. And by muscle, I mean the physical assets, the actual trucks, trailers, and crane equipment necessary to haul and lift the super heavy and oversized loads safely and efficiently. The key for people to understand about the Bennett Family of Companies is that we are asset-based. That means we have made the significant investments in trucks, trailers, crane equipment, operators, safety people, escorts, permit staff, and the expertise that surrounds the movement of heavy and oversized and awkward and strange pieces of equipment that come in off the ports to be able to construct these large projects. The difference is with a 3PL, they're looking for assets oftentimes. So we like to figure out how we can best deploy our assets to help partner with other providers that don't have them. And it's a wonderful mix of expertise to execute any one of these major infrastructure initiatives. The next time that you see a massive refinery, a solar farm, or a manufacturing facility being built, you'll know there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. And companies like ours and behind the scenes making it all possible, because together we can move anything.